1 month later, Maya stood in the same assembly hall where she had been forced to apologize. But everything was different now. The hall was full again. 500 students from dozens of species, all watching the stage. But this time, Maya was not standing alone in shame. This time, she was invited to speak. The investigation had been thorough, just as her father predicted. Observer Kennel and her team had reviewed every piece of evidence Maya collected. They had interviewed students and staff. They had followed the money trail from Lord Holland to Principal Orvax. They had uncovered years of covered-up complaints and silenced victims. The results were made public. Yesterday, Principal Orvax was removed from his position immediately. He was banned from working in education for 20 years and fined a substantial portion of his savings. He had known about the harassment and done nothing. He had disabled security cameras to protect Zirith. He had accepted gifts from Lord Holland in exchange for favorable treatment. All of it was documented now, and he would spend years paying for his choices. Lord Holland fared even worse. His title was stripped. His noble privileges were revoked. He was found guilty of obstruction of justice, bribery of educational officials, and conspiracy to conceal criminal harassment. His business interests were being investigated for additional crimes. The man who had threatened to destroy Earth's reputation was now struggling to keep himself out of prison. Zirith was expelled from Volantis Academy. He was required to complete 2 years of rehabilitation counseling before he could apply to any compact school. His educational records were marked with formal warnings about his behavior. The boy who had tormented so many students would finally face consequences. The new principal stood at the front of the hall. Her name was Director Solarine, a Volanti woman with green skin and kind yellow eyes. The Volanti were known for their fairness and integrity. Director Reen spent 30 years building a reputation for protecting students of all species. The Oversight Committee had selected her personally. Before we begin our new term, Director Reen said, I want to introduce someone. Many of you know Maya Torres. Some of you were witnesses to what happened to her. Some of you participated in making her life difficult. She paused and let that sink in. Maya could have given up. She could have transferred to another school. She could have let injustice win. Instead, she fought. She gathered evidence. She told the truth. And because of her courage, this academy has a chance to become what it was always meant to be. Director Reen stepped aside and gestured to Maya. Please, come say a few words. Maya walked to the center of the stage. She looked out at the crowd. She saw Pell in the front row, his arms healed, smiling at her with all 4 hands clasped together. She saw Tessa sitting beside him, looking proud. She saw Counselor Nira, now promoted to vice principal, wiping tears from her violet eyes. She saw her father standing at the back of the hall, watching with quiet pride. She also saw the students who had called her monster and Deathworlder. She saw the ones who had knocked her books down and left cruel notes on her desk. They looked uncomfortable now. Some could not meet her eyes. Maya took a deep breath. She spoke in simple words because she wanted everyone to understand. When I came to this school, I was told that humans are dangerous. I was told that we are savages from a death world. I was told that our planet made us violent and that we could not be trusted. She paused and looked around the room. Some of that is true. Earth is a harsh world. We have storms that level cities. We have earthquakes that shake mountains. We have predators and diseases and 1,000 ways to die. Our ancestors survived all of that. They survived because they learned to protect each other. They survived because they never gave up. Maya straightened her shoulders. But humans are not dangerous because we come from a hard world. We are strong because we come from a hard world. We are determined because giving up was never an option. We care about each other because, on our planet, you could not survive alone. She looked directly at the students who had bullied her. I did not hurt anyone here. When Zereth grabbed me, I pushed him away. That is all. When he harassed me, I wrote it down. When he hurt my friend, I reported it. I fought with words and evidence and truth, not with violence. That is also what humans do. We find ways to win that do not require us to become the monsters others think we are. The hall was completely silent. Every eye was fixed on Maya. I am not asking you to like me. I am not asking you to be my friend. I am asking you to understand that I am not your enemy. I am just a student who wants to learn, the same as all of you. And maybe, if you give me a chance, you will see that humans have a lot to offer this galaxy. Maya stepped back from the front of the stage. For a moment, no one moved. Then Pell started clapping. His forehands made a lot of noise. Tessa joined in. Then Counselor Mira. Then Director Ring. Then other students, slowly at first, then more and more. Not everyone clapped. Some sat with their arms crossed and their faces closed. But many did. More than Maya expected. After the assembly, students came up to Maya in small groups. Some apologized for what they had done or what they had allowed to happen. Some asked questions about Earth and humans. Some just wanted to shake her hand. One Cathari girl approached hesitantly. Maya recognized her as one of Zereth's former friends. "I am sorry," the girl said. Her voice was barely above a whisper. I knew what Zereth was doing was wrong. I was too afraid to say anything. Maya looked at her for a long moment. Then she nodded. "It is hard to stand up when you are afraid. I understand. Do you think we can start over?" The girl asked. "We can try," Maya said. That is all anyone can do. Later that day, Maya walked across the main courtyard with Pell on one side and Tessa on the other. The purple sky was bright, and the silver-leaf trees rustled in the gentle breeze. A group of younger students waved at Maya as she passed. She waved back. "So what now?" Tessa asked. "Everything is different." "What do we do?" Maya smiled. "We do what we came here to do. We learn. We make friends. We show everyone that being different is not the same as being dangerous." Pell reached over with one of his lower arms and squeezed her hand. "And if someone else needs help? If another student is being treated the way we were?" Maya looked at her friends. She thought about everything she had been through. She thought about the lonely nights and the cruel words and the fear that no one would believe her. She thought about Counselor Nira, who gave her advice when no one else would. She thought about her father who dropped everything to come help her. "Then we helped them," Maya said. "That is what humans do. We do not abandon our own." And now she looked at Pell and Tessa and smiled. "You are our own too." They walked together across the courtyard, 3 friends from 3 different worlds. The afternoon sun warmed their faces. Somewhere nearby, students were laughing and playing games. The academy was changing, slowly, one person at a time. At the back of the courtyard, Ambassador Daniel Torres watched his daughter walk with her friends. He saw the confidence in her step and the peace in her expression. He saw a young woman who had been tested and had emerged stronger. He smiled and thought about what Earth had sent to the stars. Not soldiers, not conquerors, just a 12-year-old girl who refused to give up. That was humanity's greatest weapon. That was humanity's greatest gift. 1 week after Maya sent her message, a transport shuttle landed at Valantis Academy. Without any announcement, Maya was in class when a staff member came to fetch her. She followed the woman to the main administrative building, her heart pounding. She did not know if this was good news or bad news. She did not know if her father had received her message or if Principal Orvax had somehow found out what she had done. When she walked into the principal's office, she froze. Her father was standing there. Ambassador. Daniel Torres was a tall man with warm brown eyes and gray hair at his temples. He wore his formal diplomatic uniform, dark blue with silver trim. Beside him stood two aides carrying data tablets. And next to them was someone Maya did not recognize, a thin alien with gray skin and large black eyes, wearing robes marked with the symbol of the Galactic Compact. Principal Orvax stood behind his desk. He did not look pleased. "Maya," her father said. He crossed the room and hugged her tight. "I came as soon as I got your message." Maya hugged him back, fighting tears. "Dad, I did not think you would come so fast. Some things are more important than diplomatic schedules." He stepped back and looked at her face. "You have been brave. Braver than anyone should have to be." Principal Orvax cleared his throat. "Ambassador Torres, I assure you this is all a misunderstanding. Your daughter has had some difficulties adjusting, but we have been working to help her integrate." Daniel turned to face him. His expression was calm, but Maya knew that look. It was the look he got when he was about to take someone apart with words. "Principal Orvax, this is Observer Cal from the Galactic Compact Education Oversight Committee." Daniel gestured to the gray alien. "She is here in an official capacity." The color drained from the principal's face. "Observer? I was not informed of any inspection." "This is not an inspection," Observer Kennel said. Her voice was flat and precise. "This is an investigation. Ambassador Torres has presented evidence of systemic harassment, administrative corruption, and possible criminal negligence at this institution." "Evidence?" Principal Orvax forced a laugh. "What evidence? A child's fantasies?" One of Daniel's aides stepped forward and activated a holographic display. The room filled with floating images and audio recordings. Maya saw her own evidence file, expanded and organized. There were recordings of Xerath's harassment. There were testimonies from 3 former students who had transferred out. There were medical records showing Pell's injuries. There were financial documents showing the timing of Lord Holand's donations and Principal Orvax's appointment. "This is not fantasy," Daniel said quietly. "This is documentation. My daughter spent weeks gathering proof because she knew no one at this school would believe her. She was right." The door to the office burst open. Lord Holand strode in, his robes flowing behind him. He was tall and thin, with the same cold eyes as his son. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "I received word that a human diplomat was causing problems. I came to put a stop to this nonsense." "Lord Holand," Daniel said, "thank you for joining us. I was just showing Principal Orvax the evidence my daughter collected about your son's behavior." Lord Holand glanced at the holographic display. His expression flickered for just a moment before he regained control. "A child's lies. My son is a victim here, not a perpetrator. Your savage daughter attacked him on her first day, after he grabbed her arm and bruised her," Daniel replied. "We have audio of Xerath admitting that to his friends. He bragged about it." Lord Holand's eyes narrowed. "You dare accuse my family? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I can do to Earth's position in the Compact?" Daniel did not flinch. "I know exactly who you are. You are a wealthy noble who has used your money to buy protection for your son's abusive behavior. You have driven multiple students out of this school. You have corrupted its leadership. And 1 week ago, your son pushed a Marini student down a flight of stairs, breaking 2 of his arms." "There is no proof of that," Lord Holand snapped. "The cameras were not working." "That is interesting," Daniel said, "because we pulled maintenance records for the security system. Those cameras were manually disabled 30 minutes before the incident. The access code used belonged to Principal Orvax." Principal Orvax made a small choking sound. Lord Holand turned red. "This is an outrage. I will not stand here and be accused by some human from a backwater planet." You do not need to stand here, Observer Kennel said calmly. But you do need to answer questions. The evidence presented is sufficient to open a formal investigation. Both you and Principal Orvax are now subjects of that investigation. Lord Holland stepped toward Daniel. He was taller, and he clearly meant to intimidate. You have made a powerful enemy today, human. I will destroy your career. I will destroy Earth's standing in the Compact. You will regret this. Daniel looked up at him without fear. You are threatening an ambassador of the Galactic Compact in front of an official observer. I hope she is recording this. I am, Observer Kennel confirmed. Lord Holland's face went from red to white. He looked around the room like a trapped animal. For the first time, Maya saw real fear in his eyes. I want my lawyer, Lord Holland said. That can be arranged, Observer Kennel replied. You are both required to remain on campus until the initial investigation is complete. Any attempt to leave will be treated as obstruction of justice. Principal Orvax collapsed into his chair. He looked like a man watching his entire life fall apart. Lord Holland stood frozen, his hands shaking with rage. Daniel put his arm around Maya's shoulders and guided her toward the door. We are done here for now. My daughter needs rest. As they walked out, Maya looked back one last time. She saw Principal Orvax with his head in his hands. She saw Lord Holland standing alone, abandoned by the power he thought would always protect him. She did not feel sorry for either of them. Outside in the hallway, Daniel stopped and knelt in front of Maya. He took her hands in his. I am so proud of you, he said. His voice was thick with emotion. You were alone and afraid, and you fought anyway. You gathered evidence and built a case and refused to give up. That took incredible courage. Maya felt tears running down her cheeks. I did not know if anyone would come. I did not know if anyone would believe me. I will always believe you, Daniel said. And I will always come when you need me. He hugged her again, and this time Maya let herself cry. She cried for all the lonely nights and cruel words and silent suffering. She cried because it was finally over. What happens now? She asked when the tears slowed. Daniel smiled. Now we let the system work. Observer Kennel is very thorough. The truth will come out. Maya nodded. The truth would come out. And this time, people would listen. 3 weeks passed. Maya kept her head down and her tablet ready. She recorded everything. When Xerath called her a monster in the hallway, she captured the audio. When someone left a dead insect on her pillow with a note saying Deathworlders eat bugs, she took pictures. When teachers ignored her raised hand in class but called on Xerath immediately, she wrote it in her file with the date and time. The file grew larger every day. But Maya was not alone in her quiet fight. 2 others found their way to her. The first was Pell, a small Merini boy with 4 thin arms and soft brown fur. The Merini were considered a lesser species by many in the Compact. They came from a small world with no natural resources, and they had joined the Compact as laborers and servants rather than equals. Pell was at Valantis Academy on a scholarship for exceptional students. He was the smartest person in their year, but the other students treated him like he was invisible. I saw you recording Xerath yesterday, Pell said one day at lunch. He sat down across from Maya without asking permission. That was brave. Maya looked at him. Or stupid. If he catches me, things will get worse. Pell shrugged with all 4 shoulders. Things are already bad. At least you are fighting back. He picked at his food with one hand while using another to pull out his own tablet. I have been keeping records, too. Xerath stole my project last month and claimed it was his. The teacher believed him because I am Myrene, and he is Lord Holland's son. Maya felt a spark of hope. You have proof? Some, not enough. Pell smiled, showing small, flat teeth. But maybe together we can get more. The second ally came a few days later. Her name was Tessa Quinn, and she was human. But unlike Maya, Tessa's parents were not diplomats. They were merchants who traded between Earth and the inner systems. Tessa had been at Valantis Academy for 2 years, and she had survived by being invisible. "I heard about what happened to you," Tessa said. She was a year older than Maya, with dark hair and tired eyes. "The same thing happened to me when I first arrived. Zirith targeted me for months. I almost transferred out. Why did you stay?" Maya asked. "Because my parents saved for 10 years to send me here," Tessa said. "Because this school opens doors that stay closed for merchant families. Because I refused to let him win." She crossed her arms. "But I kept my head down. I stayed quiet. I survived, but I did not fight. Maybe that was wrong." Maya shook her head. "You did what you had to do. And now you're doing something different," Tessa said. "Something braver. I want to help." Together, the three of them began to investigate. Pell used his technical skills to access old student records. He found that 3 exchange students had transferred out of Valantis Academy in the past 4 years. All 3 had been from species considered inferior by the Cathari. All 3 had left in the middle of the year with no explanation. Tessa reached out to one of them, a Pelori girl who now attended school on a station near the galactic core. The girl responded with a long message describing months of harassment from Zirith and his friends. She had reported it to Principal Orvax. Nothing was done. Her parents pulled her out before she had a breakdown. Maya kept recording incidents. She also started paying attention to things she had missed before. She noticed that Lord Holan visited the academy often. She noticed that Principal Orvax became nervous and eager to please whenever Lord Holan was present. She noticed that a new building was being constructed with the Holan family crest above the door. "Follow the money," Tessa said one night as they reviewed their evidence. "Lord Holan practically owns this school. That is why Zirith can do whatever he wants." "We need more," Maya said. "We need something big. Something that cannot be ignored." The something big came 2 days later, and it was terrible. Maya was walking to class when she heard shouting from a stairwell. She ran toward the sound and arrived just in time to see Zirith standing at the top of a flight of stairs. Pell was at the bottom, crumpled on the landing. 2 of his arms were bent at wrong angles. "He fell," Zirith said loudly. There were other students watching. The clumsy little creature just fell. Maya pushed through the crowd and knelt beside Pell. He was conscious, but in horrible pain. Blue tears leaked from his large eyes. "He pushed me," Pell whispered. "Maya, he pushed me." Medical staff arrived and took Pell away. Teachers asked questions. Zirith told everyone that Pell had tripped and fallen on his own. The other students who had been watching said the same thing. They had not actually seen the push. They only saw Pell falling. Maya went to Principal Orvax. "There is security footage," she said. "Every hallway has cameras. Check the footage from the east stairwell." Principal Orvax looked annoyed. "The cameras in that section were malfunctioning today. There is no footage." Maya stared at him. "Malfunctioning." On the exact day, Pell was pushed down the stairs. "Watch your tone, human," the principal warned. Pell has already given a statement. He says he cannot remember what happened. He does not claim anyone pushed him. Of course, Pell would not claim that. He was a Mirani on scholarship. If he accused Lord Holan's son, he would be expelled. His family would be ruined. He had everything to lose and nothing to gain. Maya left the principal's office feeling sick. This was not just unfair. This was corrupt. The whole system was designed to protect people like Zirith and punish people like Pell. That night, Maya visited Pell in the medical center. His arms were in healing casts, and he looked small and fragile in the white bed. I am sorry, Maya said. This is my fault. I made you a target. Pell shook his head. I was already a target. I was always going to be a target. The only difference is that now I am not alone. He reached out with one of his uninjured arms and touched her hand. Do not stop, Maya. Do not let them win. Maya squeezed his fingers gently. I will not stop. I promise. She went back to her room and opened her evidence file. It was large now. Recordings, testimonies, records, patterns. But it was not enough to take the Principal Orvax. He was part of the problem. She needed to go higher. Maya opened a secure communication channel. Her father was still on his diplomatic mission, but his office had staff who monitored important messages. She attached her entire evidence file and wrote a single sentence. Dad, I need your help. Then she pressed send. Principal Orvax was a large Cathari male with gray skin and eyes that never seemed to blink. He sat behind a desk made of polished white stone, and he looked at Maya like she was something unpleasant stuck to the bottom of his shoe. I have heard the reports, he said before Maya could speak. You attacked Lord Holand's son without provocation. You injured him. You drew blood. Maya shook her head. That is not what happened. He grabbed my arm. He was hurting me. I only pushed him to get free. Principal Orvax waved his hand dismissively. 4 witnesses say otherwise. 4 respected students from good families. Are you calling them liars? I am saying they did not see him grab me first, Maya said. She tried to keep her voice steady. I am saying they only saw me push him. If you check my arm, you will see bruises where he grabbed me. The principal did not even look at her arm. Humans bruise easily. That proves nothing. What I know is that a human student attacked a Cathari student on her first day at this academy. This is exactly what people warned me about when I agreed to accept you. Maya felt cold inside. You already decided I am guilty. You did not even ask for my side of the story. Principal Orvax stood up. He was very tall, and he used his height to loom over her. I am giving you a chance, human. A chance you do not deserve. Tomorrow morning, at the full school assembly, you will stand before everyone and apologize to Zirith Holan. You will admit that your Deathworld instincts overwhelmed you. You will promise it will never happen again. But I did nothing wrong, Maya whispered. If you do not apologize, the principal continued as if she had not spoken, I will contact your parents. I will tell them that you are a danger to other students. I will recommend your immediate expulsion. Your father's diplomatic mission will suffer. Earth's reputation in the compact will suffer. All because you could not control your savage impulses. Maya stared at him. She understood now. This was not about justice. This was about politics. Zirith's father was rich and powerful. Maya's father was an ambassador from a new and unimportant world. The principal had already chosen which side to take. I want to speak to my parents, Maya said. Your father is on a mission in the outer systems. Communication delays are significant. Your mother has already been informed of the situation. Principal Orvax smiled, but there was no warmth in it. She agreed that an apology would be the wisest course of action. Maya's heart sank. Her mother had only heard the principal's version of events. Of course, she thought an apology made sense. She did not know the whole truth. The assembly is at first bell tomorrow, Principal Orvax said. Do not be late. That night, Maya lay in her bed and stared at the ceiling. She did not sleep. She thought about what was happening and what she should do. Part of her wanted to fight. Part of her wanted to refuse to apologize for something she did not do. But another part of her thought about her father. He had worked so hard to become ambassador. He believed in building bridges between Earth and the other species. If Maya caused a scandal, it would hurt his mission. It would hurt Earth's reputation. It would make things harder for every human who came after her. Maybe one apology was worth it. Maybe she could swallow her pride for the greater good. The next morning, Maya put on her uniform and walked to the assembly hall. The room was enormous, with seats rising in tiers all around a central stage. Every student in the academy was there. 500 faces from dozens of species, all watching her. Principal Orvax stood on the stage. Beside him sat Zirith Holan, looking very pleased with himself. His elbow was wrapped in a bandage far larger than the tiny scratch required. Behind them sat a tall Cathari male in expensive robes. That had to be Lord Holan, Zirith's father. Maya Torres, Principal Orvax said into the amplification system. "Come forward." Maya walked down the central aisle. Her footsteps echoed in the silent hall. She climbed the steps to the stage and stood where the principal pointed. She faced the crowd. "Yesterday, there was an incident," Principal Orvax announced. "A human student attacked a Cathari student without provocation. The human student has something she wishes to say." Maya looked at Zirith. He was smirking. He was enjoying every second of this. She looked at Lord Holan. His expression was cold and satisfied. She looked at the crowd. Hundreds of students stared back at her. Some looked curious. Some looked disgusted. A few, very few, looked sympathetic. Maya took a deep breath. "I apologize," she said. The words tasted like poison in her mouth. "I apologize for frightening Zirith Holan. I apologize for my actions. It will not happen again." Zirith's smirk grew wider. Lord Holan nodded approvingly. Principal Orvax looked relieved. "Thank you, Maya Torres," the principal said. "You may return to your seat." Maya walked back through the crowd. She kept her face blank. She did not let them see how much it hurt. After the assembly, things got worse. Before, the other students had avoided Maya. Now they felt bold. They whispered insults as she walked past. They knocked her books out of her hands and pretended it was an accident. They left cruel notes on her desk. One day, she found her room had been broken into. Her clothes were thrown everywhere. Her few personal items from Earth were smashed. Zirith was the worst. He followed her with his friends, always staying just far enough away that teachers would not notice. He made comments about Deathworlders and monsters and savages. He told everyone that Maya had begged for forgiveness. He said she had cried and pleaded. Maya did not cry. Not in public. But at night, alone in her room, the tears came. One evening, there was a knock on her door. Maya opened it to find a Tellurian woman standing there. She was academy staff, with violet eyes full of kindness. "My name is Nira Voss," the woman said softly. "I am a counselor here. May I come in?" Maya let her in. They sat on the bed, and Nira looked at Maya with genuine concern. "I saw what happened at the assembly," Nira said. "I know you were treated unfairly. I am sorry. Then why did no one stop it?" Maya asked. Nara sighed. "Lord Holan gives a lot of money to this school. Principal Orvax owes his position to that money. No one wants to anger Lord Holan." She paused. "But that does not make it right. What can I do?" Maya asked. "No one believes me. No one will listen." Nira was quiet for a moment. Then she leaned closer. "Document everything," she whispered. "Save every cruel message. Record every incident. Write down dates and times and witnesses. Build a record of what is really happening." Maya looked at her. "Why? What good will that do?" "Someday, someone might listen," Nira said. "Someday, the truth might matter. But only if you have proof." After Nira left, Maya sat alone for a long time. Then she opened her tablet and created a new file. She titled it Evidence. And she began to write. Maya Torres stepped off the transport shuttle and took her first breath of Cathra Prime air. It smelled like flowers and something sweet she could not name. The sky above was pale purple, and two small moons hung low on the horizon, even though it was midday. Everything here was soft and gentle. The grass beneath her feet felt like velvet, and the breeze was warm without being hot. She was 12 years old, and she was the first human child to ever attend Volantis Academy. Her father, Ambassador Daniel Torres, had told her this was a great honor. Earth had only joined the Galactic Compact 3 years ago, and humans were still proving themselves to the older species. Maya, attending this school, was supposed to show that humans could fit in with galactic civilization. She was supposed to make friends and learn and represent her entire species with grace. Maya thought that was a lot of pressure. For a 12-year-old girl, a tall Cathari woman in flowing silver robes approached her. The Cathari were the native species of this world. They had pale blue skin, large dark eyes, and delicate features that made them look like living sculptures. This woman had 3 parallel lines tattooed on her forehead, marking her as Academy staff. "You are the human child," the woman said. It was not a question. "I am Registrar Molan. Follow me." Maya grabbed her single bag and followed. She noticed that Registrar Molan walked very fast and did not look back to see if Maya was keeping up. The message was clear. Maya was expected to adapt to them. They would not slow down for her. The academy was beautiful. White stone buildings rose around courtyards filled with flowering trees. Students in gray and silver uniforms walked in small groups, talking quietly. Maya saw Cathari students, of course, but also other species. There were tall insectoid Vraxi with clicking mandibles, small furry Pelori with 6 legs, elegant Tellurians who looked almost human except for their silver hair and violet eyes. Every single one of them stopped talking when Maya walked past. They stared at her with expressions she could not read. Some whispered to each other. One Cathari boy with golden jewelry woven into his hair actually stepped backward when she came near, as if she might attack him. Maya kept her eyes forward and kept walking. Registrar Molan brought her to a small dormitory room at the end of a long hallway. The room had a bed, a desk, a small bathroom, and a window overlooking the garden. It was nice enough, but Maya noticed it was far from the other student rooms. She had been placed at the very end of the building, as far from everyone else as possible. "Classes begin tomorrow at first bell," Registrar Molan said. "The dining hall is in the central building. Do not be late." She turned and left without another word. Maya sat on her bed and looked out the window. A group of students were playing some kind of game in the garden below. They were laughing and throwing a glowing ball back and forth. They looked happy. They looked like they belonged. Maya wondered if she would ever feel that way here. The next morning, Maya put on her new uniform and walked to the dining hall. She got her food from a serving station that offered dishes from dozens of different worlds. She picked things that looked safe and found an empty table in the corner. She ate alone. After breakfast, she went to her first class. It was Galactic History, taught by an elderly Vraxi professor who spoke in clicks and buzzes that her translation implant converted to words. The professor talked about the founding of the Compact and the great wars that came before it. Maya listened carefully and took notes. When the professor asked questions, she raised her hand and gave correct answers. The professor seemed surprised but pleased. The other students did not seem pleased. They glared at Maya whenever she spoke. One Cathari girl rolled her eyes so hard, Maya thought they might fall out of her head. At midday break, Maya walked through the main courtyard, looking for a quiet place to read. She found a bench under a tree with silver leaves and sat down with her tablet. She had only read 2 pages when a shadow fell over her. She looked up and saw 4 Cathari students standing in front of her. The one in front was the boy with golden jewelry in his hair. He was taller than Maya and very thin. with the same delicate features as all Cathari. But his eyes were hard and cold. "So, you are the Deathworlder," he said. His voice dripped with contempt. "The little monster from that poison planet." Maya closed her tablet slowly. "My name is Maya Torres. Earth is not a poison planet." The boy laughed. "Earth has active volcanoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, predators that eat other creatures alive. Your world is a death trap, and your species evolved there. That makes you a monster." He looked at his friends. "My father says humans are barely evolved predators. He says we should not let them into the compact at all." Maya stood up. She was shorter than all of them, but she stood straight. "I do not want any trouble. I just want to learn like everyone else. You want to learn?" The boy stepped closer. "Let me teach you something, Deathworlder. My name is Zirith Holan. My father is Lord Holan, and he is the most important donor this academy has. This is my school. You do not belong here." Maya tried to step around him. "Excuse me." Zirith grabbed her arm. His fingers dug in hard, and Maya felt pain shoot up to her shoulder. His grip was surprisingly strong for someone who looked so fragile. "I did not say you could leave," Zirith hissed. Something happened inside Maya. It was not a thought. It was older than thought. It was instinct, the same instinct that had kept her ancestors alive on a world full of predators and disasters. Her body moved before her mind could stop it. She twisted her arm sharply, breaking his grip. At the same time, she pushed him away with her other hand. It was not a hard push. On Earth, it would have made a bully stumble back a step or two. But Zirith was not from Earth. He was from a gentle world with light gravity and no predators. He flew backward like Maya had shoved him with all her strength. He landed on his back on the stone path, and his elbow scraped against the ground. Blue blood welled up from the scratch. For a moment, everyone was silent. Then Zirith screamed. Teachers came running from every direction. They surrounded Zirith, helping him up, examining his tiny wound like he had been stabbed. Two of them grabbed Maya by the arms and held her tight. "What happened here?" one teacher demanded. "She attacked me," Zirith cried. Tears ran down his face. "The human attacked me for no reason. I was just talking to her, and she went crazy." Maya tried to explain. "He grabbed me first. He was hurting me. I just pushed him away." But no one was listening to her. The teachers looked at the crying Cathari noble and the human girl who did not have a scratch on her. They looked at Zirith's bleeding elbow and Maya's calm face. They had already decided who was guilty. "Take her to Principal Orvax," the teacher said. "Now,